Of all the species found in the wilds and not-so-wilds of America, none are as maligned as the feral pig. They're treated with the contempt usually reserved for cockroaches and kudzu. But there's no denying they're a plentiful and tasty resource, and so I'm down in South Texas to get some hands-on training as a hog trapper. I'm Steven Ranella. To me, hunting isn't only about the pursuit of an animal. It's about who we are and what we're made of. I live to hunt and hunt to live. I am a meat eater. If you accept the old maxim that there's no such thing as bad publicity, then feral pigs are doing well for themselves on the PR end of things. They're constantly in the news, wreaking havoc on agricultural lands, gardens, and delicate landscapes across the South, the Mid-Atlantic region, California, and Hawaii. They've generated an enormous amount of interest from American hunters who might not relish the idea of a wild pig invasion, though they're hardly going to turn their back on an abundant quarry with wide open seasons and no bag limits. The lack of regulations on wild pigs has spawned a sort of gold rush mentality in hog hunting country where anything goes. You can hunt them with dogs, you can stalk them, drive them, bait them, even gun them from helicopters. While I've participated in my own fair share of the hog bonanza over the past dozen years, it wasn't until recently that I learned about the guys who are actually capable of putting a dent in feral pig numbers. And let me tell you, they don't use bows and guns. They are hog trappers, like this guy right here, Ben Binnion, a wildlife biologist who manages a large, unfenced Texas whitetail property about 8 miles from the Mexico border. To date, he's trapped 4,795 feral pigs, and for the next couple days, I'm gonna follow him around.
What we got here is 2 55-gallon drums.
This is bait you've been mixing up?
Yeah, this right one is just straight corn and water, so it's just rotten corn.
The benefit is, well, it's like pigs like it, but it's also who don't like it.
Right, deer and turkeys love regular corn.
Yeah.
They won't touch this.
They don't like fermented corn.
They won't touch this. Pigs love it.
Yeah, I mean, they just like, part of their success is the fact they just will eat anything.
Yeah, that's why they're everywhere, because they can survive on pretty much anything.
Give me the rundown on this recipe again, Chef.
It's 100 pounds of corn, 50 pounds of Milo, 25 pounds of sugar, 6 packets of baker's yeast, tropical punch Kool-Aid. I usually use 3 canisters, raspberry gelatin, and a 6-pack of beer, strong beer.
So it's not gluten-free?
No. And the beer just speeds up the fermentation.
6-pack of beer?
Yeah.
Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
So you're putting all that together for a pig?
Yeah. This has got a more of a sweet smell to it, and this one's easier for me to use every day than this one. You know,
so it's partly for the trapper.
Right. I say that, and then I use both of them at the same time.
No, I'm with you. And the property you manage, how many pigs do you think are on the property you manage?
No idea.
But you know how many deer?
Yeah.
Why can you tell deer and not tell pigs?
You can't survey them the same. Their home ranges vary a whole lot, and they move like crazy.
More than whitetails?
Way more. And I run 35 to 40 trail cameras.
Yeah.
And I'll have a pig with a distinctive marking, big boar, and I'll catch him on 3 cameras over a 2-night span that are 5 miles apart. And he's just traveling.
Yeah.
And then you never see him again.
I got you.
I mean, he could go on the neighbors and get shot.
So he came in and rolled through and covered a bunch of ground and he's just gone?
Yeah, he's looking for food and looking for sows or females.
More or less than 100?
Way more.
More or less than 1,000?
Less. I trapped 16 days this year so far, where I set a trap and then the next day.
So 16 checks.
Right, right. And I caught 86.
Ben's gripes with the non-native hogs are many and include predation on turkey poults, destruction of quail nests, and many thousands of dollars of lost deer feed.
All right. Got some on my hands, so we'll smell it all day.
Bait in tow, we head out to set Ben's traps. He's currently running a miles-long line with 10 traps, some of them dating back from when he was in high school. What was motivating you to make a pig trap in high school?
My stepdad, he had 2 traps.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun to go out there every morning and check them with him. And my ag teacher, my welding shop teacher in high school, he trapped hogs. He was the one that got me into selling them.
Yeah.
I kind of would get the designs, the blueprints from him and play with them.
What's the most pigs you ever saw in one of these this size?
14.
Hold on a minute. At one time?
2 weeks ago in this very trap, I had 9 pigs total. 5 of them over 100 pounds. The other 4 were 40 pounds. And this,
I guess I'll be able to understand that better once I see your trigger.
Yeah, yeah. They have it tied open, obviously.
So that's just gravity right now.
Yeah.
No springs.
Nope.
Bang.
I just cut this off a limb or whatever, wherever I'm at, but I put these loops in there. Pigs get in there, they destroy whatever is in the trap. If you use cable...
They'll destroy your trigger.
Right. If you use cable, they kink it. You can't ever use it again. You use rope, they chew it up, and then you gotta tie it in knots. This little loop right here works perfect. So that way when they hit it, it just falls apart. So basically what I'll do is I put a little loop wire right here. And I tie at the back of the trap, right in the center. So I got a loop on that end.
So not a closed loop, but a hook.
Yeah, just a hook. So that way when they hit it, it just falls apart. Run it through that top wire. And
that's what's triggering it? Is him just straightening the wire out?
Yeah, he just bumps into it and it pulls the stick out. So I put the stick.
No way.
And just another hook like that.
Well, how many of them are bumping the stick just on their way in? That doesn't happen?
No, not unless it's a real big one.
I just want to emulate being a pig.
Yeah.
So he's in here, and he just is like this. That's incredible, man.
Yeah, that's as simple as it gets right there.
Dude, it is.
Yeah.
Pennies.
Yeah. I put a little pile
Little teaser.
right here. Put a lot in the middle, and then just put just a little bit back there. In theory, the majority of the pack's in the middle, and you got one guy in the, that ventures off to the back and sets it off.
What's the most traps you ever run at once?
I used to run 28. I had these traps and the big corral traps. That was when I was in college.
Were you running out of an 18-wheeler?
I caught 1,800 the first year I was there. 1,800.
Sold them all.
Yeah. Well, they have to be at least 40 pounds to sell, and usually that's about 50% of what you catch is
really
over 40 pounds.
But the little ones are good to eat, aren't they?
They're really good.
But they're not worth slaughter.
Right.
They're not worth commercial slaughter.
Commercial slaughter, they're not worth anything. But what I do on the little ones is I save them and field dress them and cool them down and give them to, families in need of meat.
With the trap set, it feels like you've put out milk and cookies for Santa, and now you just gotta wait for the big man to come and make the magic happen. When there's time to kill in Texas hog country, you do a night hunt.
These mosquitoes are kind of something else, huh?
Oh, yeah.
They're way worse than yesterday.
The plan is simple. We'll move from deer feeder to deer feeder until we either find pigs or run out of feeders.
Dude, they're biting me through my jeans.
Yeah, I didn't do my legs. One thing to keep in mind is that pigs don't have eye shine, so any glowing eyeballs belong to something we're not after.
If the coons aren't running off, we're doing something right.
Are they skittish?
Yeah. Yeah, if the hogs ran off, the coons would run off too.
Oh.
Right around the corner. There, he's coming right. He's going right. See him? Got him. Good shot. It's good eating size.
Male, huh?
Yeah, little boar.
Growing up in the north, there's no pigs.
Right.
And so there's this whole set of principles and things, like things you just don't do.
Right, yeah.
And one thing you don't do is hunt big animals with lights. And then you come down like a place that has pigs, and it's just like they want to get rid of them. Just anything goes, and it just feels so weird to be out doing hunting with lights.
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand completely.
Like if you could wave a magic wand and have them be gone, would you wave it or not?
I wouldn't.
You would.
No, this is too much fun.
I always get that sense. There's like a lot of people that want them gone, and the people most able to do it kind of like develop a lifestyle around them.
Right, right. It's like a love-hate.
Not bad. A couple of hours of hunting rewarded with a dozen big meals worth of wild pork. We field dress them and hang them in cold storage. There's a lot of work to be done in the morning.
So you load up your trailer before you even go confirm whether you caught a pig or not?
Yeah, I used to go and check traps without the trailer. What I always found is I'd catch something if I didn't take the trailer, and I'd have to come all the way back here and get it.
So if you get a set like this, where obviously nothing's been here, does that mean it's not gonna happen, or could it still happen?
No, it could still happen. What probably occurred here is that when we got all that rain, it kind of spread them out so they're not coming here every night.
Because there's water everywhere.
Right. So what we'll do is we'll leave this one set for a couple of more days, and if it's still got all the bait left in it, I'll take it and move it somewhere else. What I'm doing here is we got the big lake on the backside of the hill here, and there's a draw right here to get, back and forth. They're crossing right through here, and then the feeding station. So that's why.
So you pick them up on your deer camera?
Yeah, and that's the reason this trap's here. I have a specific reason for each location. It doesn't have to be just coming to that feed source. It's usually in a travel
routes. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, you can see where they came up to the front of this one and they ate all the bait right there in the front and then right inside the door, but they wouldn't quite go in.
They wouldn't commit.
Yeah. All this, that's all spit right there.
So what do you do?
Bait it again. Hopefully that built up their confidence a little bit, them eating around the door with nothing happening.
Yeah.
And tonight, maybe they'll come back and make it in there. Classic trap shy.
They just know that's trouble.
Yeah.
We rebait the traps that night, and we're up in the morning to do our second check. Look at that.
Those are dollar signs, bro. You can see there's a little sleek shine on their back.
Yeah.
That just means they're real fat.
So that's like the size of your typical suckling pig, huh?
Yeah. If you wanted to split one and cook a half, this is the size that you would do that with.
Split it down the backbone and grill the whole half of the pig.
Like sear it over coals and then smoke it for a few hours, and it's just...
No kidding?
Yeah, those are super tender.
It's good?
Yeah.
For the inspected facility, you sell to 45-pound minimum.
40-pound minimum.
And what do those weigh?
About 25.
25?
Yeah. It's too much work for them to butcher one that size. The yield isn't very high.
Yeah, I'm with you.
With her, they'll give me 35 cents a pound for her, and she's 125 pounds, so.
Let's load them up.
Yep.
Ben's setup for loading out pigs is just as efficient as everything else he does. He sets a chute at the trap entrance, backs the trailer up to it, and opens the gate. No problem for one person to handle by themselves. The chute goes back in the truck, and that's it. As my kids say, easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
On to the next one.
I could definitely see the sort of the yin yang of it, man, where on one hand you got this non-native, right?
Yeah.
That most people from an ecological viewpoint would say is a bad thing to have. But then you also look at what an enormous resource of food.
Right. Unlimited. I mean, there's...
It's like you can't keep up with them.
Right. But see, those little ones aren't worth it. I mean, you get one big one and it's equal to all the little ones that we've caught.
So will some trappers turn those out, just hoping to catch them again later, make money off them when they get big?
Yeah, but if the landowner that they're trapping on
Knew about it,
they wouldn't let them trap there anymore.
Gotcha.
So
the landowner's like, if you're gonna trap pigs, get rid of them.
yeah, take everything.
You can't be turning out pigs.
Right. I like pulling up on a trap and seeing multiple heads.
But you got 2 adults in there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
There's 7 in there.
So when you're looking at you'll see an ad online, right? It'll be like Texas hog hunts. Those guys buy pigs to then put in there and let guys come hunt them.
Yeah.
Do they pay more than the...
For the small ones, they pay more per pound. These 2 bigger ones here, it's about the same price.
About the same price?
Yeah. He's almost digging out of that one.
Oh, yeah. That boy's got some body fat too, huh?
Yeah, he's real fat.
Normally, Ben sells his hog catch to a USDA inspected facility. By law, the pigs need to walk into that facility healthy. No hunter-killed animals are accepted. But I've talked Ben out of this whole batch, which I'm gonna distribute to friends and family. To get even more education out of this Texas jaunt, we're hauling a couple of the critters to Clayton Saunders at Divine Meats of Divine, Texas. I want to find out how the pros handle pork, and I'm eager for his assessment of our hogs.
When a guy pulls up, what are you looking for to judge how this guy's handled his job as a hunter up to the moment you take over?
First telltale sign is always the eyeballs.
Really?
And so that'll tell you the freshness of any animal right there.
So is an eyeball ever so bad that you need to reject it?
Yeah, especially on pigs, because pigs will sour before venison will.
So that's a good eyeball, though.
That's good eyeball. These are already field dressed and gutted. I'll open up the cavity and see if they were viscerated right, all the vitals.
So do you get guys pulling up with pigs that haven't even gutted?
We do accept them that way, as long as they're fresh. We're not gonna accept a pig that's had guts in it for 24, 48 hours.
I got you. So like this guy right here, gutted weight, what percentage of boneless meat is gonna come off that thing?
Not very much. Probably looking around 30%.
30%.
My recommendation on these would be primarily barbecue cuts.
Meaning bone in.
Bone in.
Yeah. All right, let's see, you can walk us through a couple?
All right, sounds good. Real important on pigs, there's gonna be a gland right there,
Okay.
right in that fat.
Yep.
You wanna get that gland right there.
Get that out of there.
They're gonna have glands there, they're gonna have glands here, they're gonna have glands there.
Just like a
And then
person.
there's also glands inside the hams. Same thing on a deer.
Yeah, you find those little
beef.
waxy balls.
So you
yeah.
got 2, 4, 6, 8. Cook that in the crock pot or on the barbecue pit and bite into it, you're gonna know it.
Not loving it.
This is more of a medium-sized hog, 75-pound carcass. So you can do just about anything you want on this one. Shoulders and your loins are gonna be your best flavor. Your most volume is gonna come out of your hams, but if you want better flavor on the crock pot, you wanna go for the shoulders.
Is that right?
In my opinion.
Yeah.
In South Texas, with all the cactus and brush and thorns,
Yeah.
a lot of times you won't keep anything past the elbow joint because of black brush thorns and cactus thorns. You're not gonna wanna chew on that for a while. So that's a really nice shoulder there.
Yeah, see, that's beautiful with
Yeah.
the fat on there, man.
Yeah.
What style of cooking you talking about?
I like an offset fire myself. You can do it over direct coals, charcoal.
We
wood.
mean just cook the whole thing just like that.
Throw a little salt, a little pepper. We'll go let the fire and the smoke do its thing, and then we'll baste it as we go.
So does this count as Texas barbecue or not?
South Texas barbecue.
South Texas barbecue.
Down here, this is what you'd find typical on a barbecue pit in a backyard somewhere.
Gotcha.
Clayton keeps an offset smoker out back, and he's already got it heated up.
What's the best cooking temp?
If you want to run low and slow, run it 250. If you want to get it started, run it 350, and then back it down, and we'll let it go.
All right.
We'll go inside and cut up some more pig. That's gonna be good.
Show me what would be bacon on a domestic pig and explain to me why I'm not able to do it with a wild pig.
Your bacon would be starting at your brisket point right here. You get your baby back ribs here if you want to keep them.
Flay it away from the ribs.
Yeah, that's gonna be your bacon.
Oh, that is bacon. Look at that.
Yeah.
You weren't lying.
I wasn't lying.
Is it not worth it?
In my opinion, it's not. It's gonna shrink up about 20%.
Okay.
The muscle is just not developed on these wild pigs, on the briskets, the way
Yeah.
it is on a domestic pig.
Yeah.
You can do it.
The meat to fat ratio is way off.
I would prefer to leave that on the rib and throw these ribs on the pit. Now you end up with spare ribs, whereas short
That's what
ribs.
spare rib means?
Short rib, spare rib.
I don't know how I went my whole life without picking that up. So now that you've shown me what I don't want to do, show me what you would do.
Typically, I'll break it right below the tenderloin. You want to pull that flank up so you don't cut that flank off. So there's a slab of ribs. A lot of people like cutting them down the middle.
Yep.
Make 2 slabs out of one.
Those would be good on the
Those
pit.
would be real good on a pit. I don't like splitting mine down the middle and
Okay.
making individual chops. I like to leave mine connected like this
Make whole.
and make butterfly chops,
Okay.
we like to call them. The presentation on the plate is a lot better. Plus, most people are gonna eat 2 of those and not just one.
Yeah.
You can pull the hams off just with a knife, or you can run them through the saw either way. So that we can do steaks, we can do roast, we can do boneless.
That's got that satisfying meat slap sound.
An excellent harvest of a most desirable meat from an animal that some people just shoot and leave to rot. Clayton goes a couple rounds on the shoulder with a homemade vinegar-based sop recipe that his dad passed down to him. All told, takes about 4 hours to cook.
So you let that rest too, I noticed.
I let it rest 20, 30 minutes.
What's the thinking on that?
To relax the meat a little bit, but more importantly, not to burn my hands when I'm cutting it.
Oh, okay. I can't believe that it got that tender.
Yeah, it's falling apart.
If you pick it up with a hook, it's liable to just fall off.
Now, what do you think you got to on an internal temperature?
Probably a good 180 plus.
So just way beyond safe.
180s, 190s. To me, that's a pretty nice cut of meat right there. You can just take the
Man,
sop from before and dress a little bit over.
it is good, man. This is like a pretty traditional South Texas preparation here.
Yeah, it's pretty traditional in this area.
Man, that's one of the top things I've eaten in a long time, man.
No, this is good. This is good.
It's really good. It's like a cross between venison and pork.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
It's like if a deer made love to a pig.
Be like a dork.
It's like a dork.
Our motto here is you can't please everybody, so we just make it how we like it. So.
Well, I wouldn't change a thing, man.